All right, everybody, welcome back to Sports with Skiz, episode 7. This week, we are diving into everything week 3. And Tanaka, there is one game tonight that none of us have down. NC State at Wake Forest. Without giving me any explanations, who you got?
Yeah, bro, I've been riding with NC State the last couple of weeks. The fans can know I'm a big fan of CJ Bailey. Um, he's really good. He's not Lamar Jackson good though. So it's really weird because Wake Forest isn't really great football. I couldn't tell you too much about them at right now, but I will say that plus 7.5 at home. I mean, they haven't looked the greatest, but I feel like it's very trappy on a Thursday night. You know what I mean? Just gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
weird ball game.
I got you. I got you. It looks like Pitt and West Virginia isn't the only game we're going against each other. Give me NC State minus 7.5. I know they've looked a little bit shaky, but Wake Forest is dog doo doo for sure.
They
So
are. They're not
Kennesaw
good.
State,
I'm just,
Kennesaw
you know
State
me.
almost won them. It's basically like Wake Forest and the New Orleans Saints are just twins, especially with those hideous alternates that the Saints wore
I love
last
them.
Sunday.
I
Oh
love
my
them.
God, they're disgusting. They looked like Wake
You
Forest
love
in a
them. I
dome.
love them.
Ah, nasty as hell. Nasty as hell. We'll go Wolfpack. We're going Wolfpack tonight. But without any further ado, let's jump into our main games that we got. Knock, if you want to kick us off, feel free. I know you got a game that's coming up tomorrow, Friday night.
Yes, guys, I just want to let everybody know I was stellar. Mike and I were stellar on our picks last week. So as far as my end, you might want to proceed with caution. It's very rare to do what we did last weekend. We were like 7-1 total or something like that,
I
seven
think
and
I had
two.
the only loss, I'm
Um,
pretty sure.
So, just proceed with caution this week, guys. Obviously, I just took Wake Forest plus 7.5. I did not drink anything yet, I promise. So I'm gonna kick it off with Colorado Houston. Interesting game to me. Because I feel like the line might be just like a little low for some reason in terms of the spread. Houston's got an experienced Connor Wigman. They've got Dean Connors in the backfield. Dean Connors came from Rice. He is a stud. They actually just whooped up on Rice.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome. He's very fast. He can do a little bit of everything, catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm not really the biggest Connor Wigman fan. He didn't really, but 3 or 4 years at A&M, he did not um, live up to the expectations. But this is Houston, and one thing I know about Houston is that they have high-powered offenses. They love to throw the ball around the field, and Colorado's defense still has some questions. While they've been much better, much better this year, I will say that. I think Ryan Staub is the starting quarterback this week. He was third on the depth chart last week. With that being said, though, he was 7 for 10 and they only played Delaware. So, like, I don't know if I can put a lot of stock into him yet. Good for him. Real happy for him. Obviously, Coach Prime, was showboating him after the game and rightfully so. You know what I mean? The kid came into an environment, I guess, and got his first career dub. So good for him in Colorado. He's facing a good pass rush from Houston. I'll be honest, and Colorado's line still has a lot of question marks. And I'm not, I think that's the reason for such a low over under as well, is just his lack of experience. And same with Connor Wigman on the other end, just not really totally having that chemistry yet with Houston. So, as far as Houston's offense goes, I'm excited for it. He's off to his best career start since leaving Texas A&M. But you know what? I'm gonna fade the under and I'm gonna take the over. I think this is gonna be a higher scoring game than we may think.
Yeah, I like that one. Houston has a really strong defense right now. Basically, in all categories, they rank in the um, top 5 rushing yards. They are ranked 54th, but I do like Houston as well too. I would like to see them get their passing game going a little bit more. I know Connor has started off pretty good. He's taking care of the ball. With that being said, they're only averaging about 170 yards, but I think that they could do some damage this week. It is going to be interesting to see what Colorado can do, just with the third string basically leapfrogging second and first to get there. But, you got to have that extra confidence boost if Coach Prime got your back. I don't know if there's anybody else in the nation that you want to kind of solidify having your back and going to bat with you like Coach Prime. So I do like that. I also like the over pick that you got as well, too. So
Yeah, and
Um,
again, if you're gambling, guys, proceed with caution. I'm
yes.
a very superstitious guy, and I'm actually fading the public here. You're going to see a lot of that from me today. Fading the
Mhm.
public on the under 45.5. So again, proceed with caution. But me and Mike are on the same page here.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. We kind of beat to our own drum too. So if you feel that way, bet your units, don't go over anything like that, gamble responsibly. So I like it, knock. I like it. My first game of the weekend, I'm gonna go with Clemson at Georgia Tech. We got Clemson minus 3.5. Over under is 54.5. Clemson coming off an absolute dogfight against Troy, winning that game 27-16. Troy jumped out to a quick 16-0 lead. So it's going to be interesting to see. For me, Cade Klubnik has to get off to a better start earlier in these games. Clemson as a whole, really offensively, has to. They've gotten off to slow starts against LSU and Troy, and they need to lean on Brian Westco in the run game, or Brian Westco in the receiving, and then Adam Randall in the running game. So we'll see what they could do there. Their defense is always stout. I mean, they were able to get 3 interceptions to basically help them bring that game back in. So when you have people up front like Peter Woods and AJ Parker, you're always going to have a dog's chance. So also shout out to Ronan Hannafin, former wide receiver that turned into safety. He's a hard hitter. He has some fight in him. So that defense is really good. And again, with Cade Klubnik, his completion percentage so far on the year is 59.7. So I would like to see that get up. That offensive line has caused him to be under a lot of pressure as well, too. So it's not all on him, but I don't know. They got to get something going, especially against a team like Georgia Tech. They're always a tough opponent over the past couple of years. Their rushing attack is their strong suit. They have 3 players with 140 or more rushing yards, with Hayes King, Jamal Haynes, and Malachi Hosley. So they're obviously going to try to get those 3 going. Hayes King actually did not play last week. He's been battling a little bit of an injury, but I read he's been a full go in practice since Tuesday. So if he goes down, they do have a redshirt freshman, Aaron Fallow. He actually stepped up last week and threw for 300 yards. So when you got a backup that could just step right in as a redshirt freshman, I know they were only playing against Gardner Webb, but he showed a lot of poise and a lot of confidence. That'll be good. So I think if Georgia Tech can start fast and put pressure on Clemson early, it's going to only build confidence. And their defense, is pretty tough as well too. So my key stat for this game is Brent Key, Georgia Tech's head coach, is 6-1 against ranked ACC opponents. So some food for thought there. If you are looking at gambling here, I do like the under for this game. I think it's going to be kind of a rock fight if Georgia Tech wants to keep it close. I think that they're going to lean heavily on that run again, drain the clock, try to beat Clemson up a little bit. So I like the under. And if anything, I probably would lean Clemson against the points as well, too. I think that they're going to try to get that back on track there.
Yeah, man, I love it. It's your Georgia Tech on this. I love that this is a day on a weekend in honor of 13 of 9 that we're just gonna be against each other, bro. Because here's the reality of it: Dabo Sweeney really knows how to close out tight ACC ball games. And like you said earlier, I think that's what this is going to be. I think it's going to be an extremely tough matchup. If Haynes King is hurt, I just had no question in my mind that Clemson is going to bounce back in this game. Like you said, something's got to give with that defensive line. They do have the talent at the DB spot, at the wide receiver spot. Cade Klubnik starting off slow, like something's got to give. They're on the road, right?
Yes, it's
So
at
they
Georgia Tech.
so they have to come out with a major sense of urgency. And I think they're going to start off fast, a lot faster than what they have been over the past couple of weeks. I can tell you that. And if not, they might be in trouble against Georgia Tech's offense. So I hear you there, but I'm actually going to take Clemson on the money line if it's a toss up, which I'm
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, Clemson 3.5. I'm sorry if I was confusing there. So I did say I'm going to take the under for sure. And if I'm leaning anyway on these teams, I'm going to take Clemson minus 3.5. So
Okay.
we're riding the
Okay.
same boat right there. So that
Okay.
was my bad. I think I might have messed that up with some
Got you.
confusing terminology there.
Got you. We straight.
Yeah. All right. Knock, go ahead, kick us off with your second game of the weekend.
And my second game of the weekend is a little bit weird, but we're Pennsylvania guys. So I'm going to talk about a Pennsylvania team, Temple and Oklahoma. So it's like, why would you even talk about this game, bro? It's like Temple's probably going to get their shit kicked in, but I don't think that's going to be the case. First of all, I don't like the half point on the line at 21 and a half. So I will start off by saying where I'm already leaning towards. Listen, it's obvious Oklahoma is the more talented team at every spot. There's just no question about it. Temple's quarterback, Evan Simon, 6 touchdowns in his first game of the season, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions total. So he's a guy that can throw the ball around the field. Temple, this is their best team talent wise, I think, since 2015. Mike, do you remember what happened in 2015?
They beat Penn State
That's right. Where'd they beat them?
at Temple
In the link, right? So
in the
I
link in
think this is
Philadelphia.
10 years later. I'm not one of those guys, but I can be one of those guys. History repeats itself. I think Temple's gonna at least play with Oklahoma here in the first half. They're better at everything right now than they have been over the past 3 to 4 seasons. Temple has been just terrible, but I'm telling you, I think they have the athletes to keep up with Oklahoma. I'm going to keep this one pretty brief. I'm going to take the first half under 27 and a half.
Mm.
Reason why is I'm just kind of hoping that the Temple defense are a little starstruck, but in a good way, where it makes
Mm-hmm.
them like, oh, wow, we're playing with the big boys here. Again, proceed with caution. Gamblers, proceed with caution. I'm going to take the first half under 27 and a half, and I'm going to bet with my heart here. Temple to cover. Fade me.
Hey,
Fade me.
hey, I like it, man. I like it, to be honest with you. It is always cool seeing. I'm a fan of it. I know some people aren't. I like seeing smaller schools host a lot of these power conference teams. I know the guys at West Virginia, I think the voice of Morgantown were talking, and they were bitching at their AD for scheduling a game at Ohio for some reason. Again, I personally like this stuff. I do like Temple to keep it close, at least for a little while. I like what's their running back's name? Ducker, I think his name is Jay Ducker. He's
Yes.
actually averaging, I think, over 7 yards a carry right now. So that adds a little bit to their, offense. They don't have to lean heavily on just the passing game. And if you want to beat Oklahoma or keep it close with them, I feel like you got to have a balanced offense. So I like that, Knock. That's a good game to pick. I don't think that that's weird at all.
Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What a guy.
Um, speaking of weird, I kind of got a weird one here as well too for you, I guess. I'm gonna go with Washington State at North Texas. So right now,
Wow.
this one kind of jumped out to me. North Texas -6.5, over under 57.5. This is Washington State's first season under Jimmy Rogers, who actually had success at South Dakota State, won a national championship there at 2023. Their passing game looks pretty competent right now with Jackson Porter, 2-0. He's been efficient in both games. They are looking to find a consistent run game right now. That's kind of been their missing piece. They've been low scoring a little bit. I know that first game they barely escaped. I think it was a 13-10 or 10-7 win against Idaho. But they're looking to lean on Kirby Voorhees, no relation to Jason. But they still have that pass first mentality. And I think with the Apple Cup next week coming up against Washington, they're going to want to gain more momentum after this week. So North Texas isn't nothing to scoff at. I mean, they're looking to keep their playoff hopes going for an at-large here. So they've looked good in their first 2 games. Drew Macemaker, I believe or Messmaker, I'm pronouncing his name right. Sorry about that. Again, I'm not a pronunciation type of guy. He's performed really well, has good numbers, has kept the ball very clean, no turnovers or anything like that. And their running game has had some contributions as well too. Mackenzie McGill had 100 yards against Western Michigan in a 33-30 win. So it's going to be nice. Their offense knows how to move the ball, averaging 434 yards of total offense, and their pass game is especially strong, around 280 yards per game, and they rank in the top 30 in FBS while also averaging 42 points per game. So with that being said, I got a couple of key stats here. I think it's really interesting to find 2 teams and they both rank in the top 5 for passing defense. Okay. And then another crazy stat here. So you're going to want to follow me for a second. So North Texas, they're 91st in the FBS in red zone defense. and they've allowed opponents to score on 100% of the trips. Washington State's red zone offense ranks first with 100% red zone scoring opportunities. And with that being said, I am going to lean on Washington State plus 6.5. I really, really like that number right now. If you could even buy up a little bit to get them at 7.5, I like it even more. And I would lean on the under. I think one team's going to score. I think it's going to be pretty tough to get points in there, but I do like Washington State in this game.
Yeah, I think that's a funny stat. Listen, again, guys, the kind of guy I am, all the fans will learn I'm a little stitious. I just have a
Not
feeling that
superstitious, though.
yeah, just a little bit, right? Um, I watch Washington State get to the red zone and struggle to score. I just how it works sometimes. With that being
Kind of
said,
messed up.
I'm locked in with you on the under. North Dakota has the 13th ranked defense in college football. So not just top 30, top 15. They're really good.
North
Uh,
Texas?
yeah, I'm sorry. What did I say? North Dakota. I'm sorry. North
North
Texas.
Dakota.
Sorry.
We were talking about the Dakotas all before this, so it's okay.
Dakotas. So yeah, dude, I think you're right there with the under, and I think I'm gonna ride out with you on the plus 6.5. I know they're on the road. Washington State did look good last weekend
Hmm.
versus San Diego State, though, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no disrespect to the Mean Green fans. One of, the greatest Steelers of all time, Mean Joe Green went there. I love the color scheme. The stadium's beautiful. I still like you guys, but I got to go with the Cougars here. All right, Knock. Last game that you got for the weekend.
Last game before the big one. Tennessee, Georgia. Let's talk about it, right?
Hmm.
Obviously, this is going to be the biggest test that either team has faced yet thus far in the season. Joey Aguilar replaced Nico, the quarterback at UCLA right now, and he has been excellent. I mean, their offense is moving the ball, and they're doing awesome. And Georgia has a top 7 defense in the country, giving up just 1 touchdown all year. I think that's going to change this weekend. Chris Brazil, Star Thomas, Deshaun Bishop, those are guys that are they're talented. You know what I mean? When you got a guy named Star in the starting, yeah, I
It's a
hope
hell
he
of a
plays
name.
like a star this weekend. I'm a fan. I'm gonna let you guys know off the bat who I'm taking. I'm rocking with Tennessee at home. Uh, Georgia's defense is great. Gunnar Stockton, a dual threat quarterback. I think in week 1 he had like 73 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. And Georgia has a very balanced offense. They are able to run the ball. They have Chauncey Bowens. They have Nate Frazier. And don't forget, they have Zachariah Branch from USC. Now, this is what poses a threat to Tennessee. Not just Zachariah Branch. Obviously, we know Georgia has the talent offensively at the wide receiver and tight end spots too, running back, all that. But Tennessee is down 2 defensive backs and Jermon
Mm.
McCoy and Ricky Gibson. Jermon McCoy was their best defensive back coming into the season. He's out with an ACL injury for the year.
Mm.
So that's going to hurt them. But I mean, like, I'm kind of hoping the home crowd pushes this team in the right direction. And again, I said it earlier, I'm going to fade the public. 91% of all bettors are taking Georgia. Sometimes you ride with them, sometimes you don't. I'm taking the home team here. I think the offense is good. I think that Tennessee still has a very, very good pass rush. So go Vols.
I like that. I like that Knock. I don't know if I'm gonna bet on I don't know what I'm gonna do for this game. I kind of like the over at 50.5 for Tennessee to win. I feel like they're gonna have to score points. And yeah, if I'm leaning anyway, I'd probably rock out with you with Tennessee. Georgia really hasn't impressed me much. I forget who did they play. Who was it? Was it Austin P? They played last week.
Yeah.
I
And they
think it was
struggled
something like that, and they
like
were up.
28-6.
Yeah, it was like I don't know, it was just disgusting. It feels like they're still trying to find their identity. This could be one of their games where they do it, but yeah, I think Tennessee's ride a nice little high. There was a lot of skepticism coming in with the quarterback play with Joey Aguilar, seeing how he's going to be, and I think he's been phenomenal. A lot of people were picking Syracuse for that week 1 upset, and they came out and kind of slammed the door right away against them. So I like that. I'm looking forward to that game as well too. My last game before we get into a little brawl action, Texas A&M and Notre Dame. Notre Dame -6.5, over under 49.5. I'm really, really interested in this game. If you remember last year, Notre Dame went down to College Station and beat them, I believe, 23-13. It was a very, very back and forth game, rock fight, I guess, if you want to say. Not a lot of teams doing really anything, but it's going to be interesting. Texas A&M, they got Marcel Reed, excuse me. He's been very good behind center, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions, 66.1 completion percentage right now. Their passing game has seen a lot of explosiveness. So they have 2 big play guys outside, Mario Craver and Conception, I think, if that's how it says.
Concepcion, yeah,
Concepcion.
from
Concepcion.
NC State, from
Yes,
Concepcion,
yes, yeah, who was a beast there.
stud, yeah.
Yeah, stud receiver. And Craver has already had 2 100-yard receiving games on the season, and Concepcion has had multiple TD games. So I'm liking what they got on the outside there. The Aggies also return a veteran and experienced offensive line. So they've been able to keep their quarterback clean. He was battling a little bit of an injury against Utah State last week, but they ended up blowing him out. So this is their first road test game. So we'll see how A&M can respond. As to Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love. He needs more touches, and he needs more touches early and often. Only giving him 10 touches against Miami, it was criminal. He was a preseason All-American for a reason. He played injured for you last year. He's healthy. He's trying to hurdle everybody and their mother. Give him the ball. The offensive line needs to play better. They were able to they were giving up a lot of pressures, and it seems like they weren't able to work their way up to the second level against Miami. I guess that might just be the offensive lineman in me watching that, but it looked like they struggled to get a lot of movement on those double teams. If you are an Irish faithful, watching CJ Carr throughout that game had to have been very nice to see. I think he got better as the game went on, and he showed a lot of leadership and a lot of poise. He was pumping the guys up on the sideline. Come on, we got this. We're coming back. And he was able to do exactly that. He got them back in the game and gave them a chance to win. So I expect with Marcus Freeman and the Irish having off last week, I know he was in their ear letting them know this is a must-win game for them. They cannot lose this game and still get to the playoffs. So with that being said, they do also have 2 studs on defense that I'm really liking to match up against Texas A&M's wide receivers. So they have Leonard Moore, who's a true sophomore. He started every game last year as a true freshman. I'm pretty sure he was a preseason All-American. And they have Christian Moore, the guy who had the key interception against Penn State last year to push them through to the championship. So I'm really going to like seeing that matchup and seeing who could win there. And with that being said, I am leaning the under. I like the under. And if you could get Notre Dame -5.5, I really like that a lot too. I think they have a lot to prove. And again, Marcus Freeman had a week off last week. He got to kind of digest that loss against Miami where they started off really slow. And I think he's going to have the boys in green coming out to play. So shout out my boy Mike Stem. I know he'll like that.
Yeah, I got a couple buddies that are Notre Dame fans for some reason as well. I guess there's really nothing wrong with it. This is it for them. Like, this is pretty much their season. You know what I mean? You go down here, they go down what, 0-3, and
0-2.
0-2.
Yeah, they had a bye last week.
Miami was their first game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go down 0-2. I guess it's not really their season, but it's pretty darn close. And I agree. Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, they have to get the run game going. Obviously, you pretty much covered it as far as the defense goes. And I am going to rock out with you with Notre Dame to cover. Very, very nervous about it because A&M is good, and but yeah, no, I'm just going to ride them at home. That's just the thing. I'm just going to ride the home team.
Pause.
I know a lot of people here. Yeah. I know a lot of people here are going to ride the home team as well, but I think I got to take Notre Dame here.
Yeah, for sure. I think that they got something to prove. I will say they gotta find a guy on defense that could get after the passer. They created nothing against Miami with like pressure wise and everything like that. So it'll be exciting to see. So with that being said, Tanaka, the backyard brawl this weekend. It started in 1895, excuse me. This is going to be the 108th meeting. Pitt holds the all-time record at 63, 41, and 3. And the opening line is Pitt -6.5, and the over-under 56.5. Let's go Panthers, baby. Sweet Caroline. Let's go Pitt.
Pitt.
I
Oh
knew that was
man.
coming. Knock, if you want to lead it off with West Virginia, man, you got the foam finger. You're the number one fan over
I
there. I'll
just
let you kick it off.
boom, boom, boom. I just feel like nothing screams fan like a foam finger. I've had this for years. It's fading. It used to actually be blue. Um, yeah, let's talk about it because it's perfect that you end with Pitt. I'll be honest with you. It is perfect that you end with Pitt. What yeah. Listen, there's if you watch football, if you watch college football, West Virginia is without their two best players offensively, Jaheim White and Jordan Bray at the wide receiver position and the running back spot. Um, for some reason I'm just not as worried as I was when I saw them lose to Ohio, and here is why. I'll tell you why. There's still a lot of talent there. They still brought a lot of guys in from the transfer portal. It might have been just a slow start and they don't know how to utilize their weapons, but I tell you, they do have some guys. Cam Vaughn, 43 catches, 800 yards, 5 touchdowns last year, can definitely be an impact on Saturday. Somebody who's young and, just a couple of touches here and there over the first couple of weeks. Man Singleton is supposed to be their speed guy in the slot. I'm not joking. There was Star Thomas earlier. You don't not play a guy named Man. Like Man that's a football name right there. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm
It is a
not
good name.
joking. Like Man, like no, Man's getting the start for me. They do have talent, man. I mean, they've got Ty Edwards, who's a Northern Illinois transfer. He can get meaningful touches at the running back spot. They have Grayson Barnes, excuse me, another Northern Illinois transfer, part of that team that beat Notre Dame. And, 760 yards, 9 touchdowns. So don't sleep on the fact that West Virginia will keep the game balanced. I think Nico Marichal is due for a much better game. Listen, weird stat. West Virginia has rushed over 4 different quarterbacks, and they've rushed over 8 to 9 guys overall, like given carries, jet sweep, whatever the case is. So they're going to try to keep it interesting against Pitt. Here's the thing about West Virginia, that Pitt, you can't really key in on anybody right now. West Virginia is going to walk into this game with absolutely nothing to lose. Zach Alley's their defensive coordinator. And even though they did just lose to Parker Navarro and Ohio, they did keep him in check by only letting him score 17 points. They've only given up 20 points thus far throughout the season. So they have guys on the defensive line like Jamori Robinson from Texas San Antonio. Big playability. The guy had 10.5 sacks last year. Chase Wilson from Colorado State. Multiple linebackers from Wyoming. And they also have a cornerback, Justin Harrington, who's their best DB. He has a dope stories from JUCO, spent 4 years at Oklahoma, went to Washington. This is his final year of eligibility. He's playing for the Mountaineers. And this is probably his biggest game as a football player. So whoever Pitt's best receiver is, just know they better come ready. This guy's physical. He's going to be active out there on the field. They do have a little bit of chemistry despite bringing so many people in on the defensive and offensive side of the ball, obviously. But one thing they're subject to is some big plays downfield. I think if West Virginia can minimize the big plays, and I think if their offense can find a way to get going and Marichal find a way, my guy, left-handed quarterback, I'm going to be honest, West Virginia at home to the fucking moon. To the moon! To the moon, I'm telling you.
All right. I like it, Knock. I like it. That was a good in-depth breakdown. I really like that. Let me, for a second, if you don't mind, let me put on my pit blinders for a second, okay? Let me put on my pit blinders here. Knock, I got 2 words for you. You ready? Eli Holstein. You know what's good about Eli Holstein? In back-to-back games starting out, 4 touchdown passes in both of those games. You know how many quarterbacks did that in the last 5 seasons? including him just 6.
Mm.
All right. He's come out on fire. He's turned the ball over twice. I will say that. He gave Central Michigan a gimme pick last week, made the game a little bit tighter than it probably should have going into halftime, but he is excited for this game. He's already talked about he's probably going to see a little kid flipping him off, which he could give a fuck about. All right. He's going to show up to play. I got another word. I got 2 more words for you. Desmond Reed, probably one of the best dual running backs in all of college football right now. He's been big in the pass game. He's always big in the run game, but he's also big in special teams. He took a punt to the crib against Duquesne in week 1. So it's going to be interesting to see how West Virginia tries to stop that. Looking at the chemistry that they have on the outsides, Ralphie Poppy Williams has been a beast so far. You know who they need to get going is Kenny Johnson. But I got one more for you. Katarius Blue Hicks, the speedster as well, too. There's 3 guys that they have on the outside that are game changers with their speed, their possession, and just the ability to make plays. Cade Bell, I mean, he loves playing fast. He's one of the fastest offensive coordinators. They usually snap the ball with about 20 seconds left on the play clock. It's one of the fastest in all of NCAA right now. He did that at Western Carolina, where he brought Desmond Reed from as well, too, a guy who was slept on. So he has a lot of big things to prove. Pitt's averaging 460 yards per game with 45 points as well. They're very explosive. I do not see West Virginia really containing them. Again, this is my Pitt blinders on right now, but that's just what I'm seeing over here. Let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. Kyle Lewis and Rasheem Biles, 2 of the best graded linebackers coming into this season. Pitt has a top 5 linebacker union. We didn't even talk about Brandon Lovelace as well, too, who's another stud at the linebacker unit. So it's gonna be nice. Pitt's defense has been stout early and often. They're generating a lot of tackles for loss, some takeaways, sacks as well, too. I don't know who is going to contain Kyle Lewis at that offensive line position. I mean, he makes people look dumb. It's crazy what he does out there. Talking secondary, Javion McIntyre, a senior who's from the Pittsburgh area. I think he has a lot to prove going into this game. Same with Cruz Brookins, a redshirt sophomore. So I'm liking what they have here. So we talked about offense. We talked about defense. Let's talk about Pitt's special teams right now. They rank number 1 in all of college football in special team efficientness. They have a punt return for a touchdown. They have multiple returns on kickoff for over 40 yards, and their punt team has been stout. Their true freshman kicker, who was a walk-on, beat out a transfer that they brought in from Murray State that was an All-American last year and has said, hit the road, buddy. Hit the road. He left before the season even started. So I know West Virginia is going to come out looking to put a stronghold on them. They know how to get Pat Narduzzi going, but I think Pat has a lot to prove given how that first game went in Morgantown. Now they finally have a competent quarterback who could go down there and throw the ball longer than 10 yards. Shout out to Djokovic, I think his name is, or whatever is what Jerkovic people call him.
Novak Djokovic.
Phil Djokovic. He was the quarterback last time down there. I don't think he could throw the ball more than 10 yards. I don't know what the hell he was doing. So, it's going to be exciting. I could see Pat wanting to come out and put his foot on their neck. So give me the Panthers. Give me the over. I'm loving this game. I'm going to be fired up for it, Knock. I know we're getting together and we're going to watch that. So give me the Panthers, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, you remember in 9th grade when you dropped that can of chew on my dad's couch? That's what I'm going to do at your house when we win. I might piss. I don't know. Don't know. No, joking aside, it's gonna be fun getting together. Yeah, I mean, you make a very good case in point. I will say the special teams thing does sound nice. Duquesne, Central Michigan,
Ohio.
They're not Ohio. So no, yeah, it'll be fun, dude. It's going to be a good game. I think it'll be I hope it's an entertaining game more than anything, but like I'm rocking out with the gang. If you want to place a little side bet or whatever the case is,
we might have to.
I got about 15 on me. No.
We definitely might have to. I'm a little bit upset that West Virginia couldn't get the job done. I know Pat McAfee hinted that if they were able to beat Ohio, that College Game Day was probably going to go down to Morgantown for this. But it's interesting. I mean, I think we talked about it before. It's very unique given how Rich Rod is back and this game is being played on September 13th. So 9/13, obviously that was the famous last coach game in Rich Rod's first tenure with West Virginia, where they were, I think, 27.5 point favorites, if I'm not mistaken, against Pitt.
Was
With all
wow.
they had to do, all they had to do was win the game, and they were in the national championship. And um, unfortunately for you, fortunate for me, they haven't even sniffed the college football playoff
It's
or another national
it's
championship.
amazing
So
because that team was so deserving.
so deserving,
Deserving.
so good. I hate West Virginia, I really do, but that team, I mean, it was
That would have been
they were
sweet.
yeah, they were so
You
good.
fucks.
Pat White, I hated playing him just because the dual threat mentality. He was so good at using his legs, but I'm just praying that this doesn't happen to Pitt this year. I know that they're not as, not as highly ranked or anything like that, but with it being a rivalry, I do think it might be a little close, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like I said, Narduzzi wants to come out and put his foot on West Virginia's neck, given that this, unfortunately, which is super sickening, I think the last time that they're going to play for a while, because I don't think that they renewed the rivalries, which again is disgusting. These teams should play every year.
Trash. Yeah.
Thanks to the realignment of college football. It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, just a little fun fact. There's just something about me when I come out to Pittsburgh, uh, when my team is playing somebody that I know's team and I'm with them in public. I tend to get the job done. So I might have to call upon some black magic or
Oh God. Oh boy. Oh
something.
boy.
No, jokes, jokes, jokes. But yeah, man, I mean, it's gonna be a fun weekend. I like the games that we picked. I want to highlight one game real quick. Again, kind of like the Temple game, USC Purdue. It's like why? I think USC is gonna come onto this side of the country and struggle against a much better Purdue team than that has been putting out on the field over the past couple of seasons. So, um, I don't know, just wanted to highlight that game. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're watching, just take a look at that 21.5 point spread. There's a good
Yeah.
shot that either this one, somebody's going down this week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm also interested to see how Florida bounces back after that horrendous loss to USF last week. I know that they're taking on LSU, so it's going to be a big feat to climb. But Brendan Bett, if you're listening, please don't spit on anybody. For the love of God, punch him in the face. Do anything else but that. Disgusting. Ugh. I still can't believe that and can't get over it. One more game as well, too, Knock. I don't know if you saw this, Duke heading down to Tulane.
mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a sneaky good game. Tulane looking to secure, obviously, they want a path to the playoff too. They're going to have to win this game to get one. Obviously, they could win out, win their conference, but the American Conference, I feel like they wouldn't get as much credit if they don't go undefeated, kind of like Boise State last year in the Mountain West, securing their playoff spot. They're also led by the former BYU and Jake Retzlaff as well, if anybody didn't know that. So we'll see how that goes. Their passing game really hasn't been all that. They've been running the ball a lot, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. What else, Knock? You got anything else for us?
Nah, man. I'm just ready for a good weekend. It starts tonight. Um, NC State,
At
Wake
Wake
Forest.
Forest. Yeah, Wake Forest is wearing they got some pretty sick. We talk about uniforms usually every week. They got some pretty sick uniforms. I think they're wearing like all black with like a nice little gold shiny detail for the WF on there. But I don't know. I think that they're horrendous. So I don't really see them keeping it close. But who knows? It's Thursday college football. I feel like wacky shit happens all the time during that.
Right.
All right. And with that being said, too, we are 1 week closer to Maction Tuesday and Wednesday nights. So that's always a little doozy if anybody's into Maction like we are.
Oh yeah, there's nothing better than losing money on a Tuesday night, trying to gain money for Saturday. Love it. Maxon's the best.
Maction is the best. Well, if we don't got anything else, I know it was a little light on some of the smaller schools and stuff like that, but we'll make sure that we talk about them next week. Shout out to John Carroll one last time. Their quarterback, I forget what his name is. What did I say it was? Knock. Do you remember Nick Semptenfelter, I think is
Mm,
his name. He set the
what a
Division III
name.
record for completion percentage during a game. He went 25 to 26. So big shout out to him. He was at Bucknell before that. So cool little story for him.
Didn't you say earlier you had a little nugget on St. Francis?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Shout out to St. Francis, Red Flash of PA. They are actually having their last first NEC game this week against my wife's alma mater, Central Connecticut, out there in Loretta, PA, before they drop down to Division III. So I kind of wanted to give them a little shout out. They're on their last leg, little last hoorah through the Division I AA ranks. So shout out to them. I wouldn't be surprised if they go winless, though. They are 0-2 already. So, yeah, with that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in again. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, threads at Sports with Skiz. Leave a comment, tweet at us, let us know what you want us to talk about. Again, your interactions go a long way. It really means a lot to us. So we love seeing you guys on there having fun and just talking ball. So thank you all again. I hope you guys enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, we love you guys, but be smart. Choose us. All plats. Love.